The thing I'm loving is like the juxtaposition of everything that was going on at that time. I obviously wasn't alive for the moon landing, but when you learn those things in school, you learn them like they're taught to you in a void, right? So you learn about the moon landing as its own thing. You learn about civil rights as their own thing. And like in this play, they kind of collide in a very like specific and cool way. It's the idea that like there is these things that are going on, but they're all going on at the same time, and they're all like vying for what's the most important, you know? And there's like so many different responses to what's going on. You have like on one hand, you like American nationalistic, we're going to the moon, so we're the best. But you also have like the response of, wait, in America on the ground, these are the problems that are going, and you have like a Martin Luther King Jr. approach that's a very peaceful, like these are the things and this is the way we're going to go about making this change. I just thought it was cool to see all of those things happen at the exact same time and get the responses at the exact same time, and to understand that like, yes, this was like kind of a Gilded Age in America where the moon landing is happening, but also there's all this turmoil, and I don't know, I thought those were the cool things that I liked about it.
So I enjoyed the play today. It gave me a completely different perspective on something that is a cherished memory because I was alive and well back in 1969, and guess didn't even think about that. And I'm going through a process right now of transition, just raising my consciousness, trying not to be an ignorant white person.
Two different stories and intersects them together, right? We have this really ambitious project that happened in society with us going to the moon before any other country, and then you've got the on-the-ground real problems of what Gil Scott-Heron talked about, of poverty and racism and, you know, wars against the police, and ironically a lot of stuff that we're seeing today. So it's relevant even though we're talking about something that happened in 1969, and it brings all of those dynamics together that really get you thinking about how stories are told and what's not told in the backstory. So for those many reasons, I love Pieces of the Moon, and the actors and their talents just really leapt through. I can't wait to see what it's going to look like, because just by their reading, I'm captivated by these particular artists. And I thank you for bringing it to Northwest Arkansas. I think it gave each audience, which you can tell is very different, a lot of different things to think about.
I think this is just another way that really helps us to think about, you know, we could spend all this money on going to the moon, and it really was just for fun, and but we haven't solved all the issues that we're facing as a country when it comes to race. And why is that? Your play pointed out the fact that, you know, we had an arch enemy, we were racing to the moon, so we had a nemesis, the Cold War. I lived through the Cold War, I believed in the Cold War, but we don't have that when it comes to race. We're not open to looking at the damage that it's doing, so much more than the Cold War, from my perspective. Bringing it to our attention, I guess, about those two completely different things in my life.
It's one of my favorite things is the revolution will not be televised. I used to listen to it when I was walking to school, and I'd be like, oh my god, and then also the fact that in addition to the revolution will not be televised happening, there was also the mountaintop speech, in that didn't graze, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is it's cool to have both of those responses.